Chance now for Ben Allen. He's inside 50. Mansfield takes it on the chest. Is it going to be a big day for Jason Dunstall? He needs 5 for the 100. And when they met in round 1, he had a field day, booting 12. Hudson called to play on, across to Pritchard. Floating kick towards McGrath, who's got the job again on Jason Dunstall. And McGrath sees it over the line as I welcome Bernie Quinlan and Gerard Healy. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sandy. Very dangerous kick out of defence there by Ken Hinkley, going for the short pass there when the player in question, Handley, was surrounded by 3 or 4 Hawthorn players.
Yes, it certainly is overcast conditions here, Sandy, as McGrath brings the ball back in for Geelong. Nicely tapped on there, and a quick handball finds Mansfield. Mansfield with plenty of space. He'll be looking for Gary Ablett. Ablett's got Jenke. Jenke does well with a tap across. Picked up by Scott. Round the corner. I think it's floated out of bounds and on the full.
A few changes, Gerard, to this Geelong side. You see Tim McGrath lining up at full back. Of course, he had that horror start to the season playing on Dunstall out at Waverley in round 1 when Dunstall kicked 12 goals, but he's been a great player for Geelong since then. He's been a regular in the side, playing every game.
Handley and Deer, 2 number 14s, tapped on by Deer. Bairstow, he's been collared and pushed in the back, but no free kick. Out to Couch on the left foot. Couch KO'd last week. Good to see him playing at the back with Billy. Ball comes to ground now with Pritchard, who's tackled well by Scott. And a ball up 45 metres from Geelong's goal.
Just watching Brownless too wander back, holding a shoulder after flying for that mark. It's in Geelong's attacking zone. They did have rain overnight here. Ground in pretty good condition. Steve Hocking gets through some fairly heavy traffic. Wills under pressure. Hawthorn have the numbers. There's a free kick. Wills was held, and he will take it just outside 50. Selections, gentlemen, for this game? I didn't ask you at the start.
Well, Sandy, I think Geelong has the form on the board. Hawthorn struggling. They really didn't win last week. The Bears lost that match, and I'm going for Geelong by 6.
Langford to the outer side, close to the boundary line. And over for a throw-in. Gerard, what about you?
Football's a funny game, Sandy. The form suggests Geelong, but I'm going with Hawthorn. They've got everything to play for.
Ricky Nixon in picture there, coming into the side, was named on the interchange, but getting a start. Hocking trying to get it out. Can't do so. Umpires are Chris Mitchell and Brian Sheehan, and the Hawthorn bench of Merton and Anderson. Just outside 50 for the Cats. Mensch doing the ruck work. Opportunity for Condon. Around his body, no one home. Couch takes it. Thinks about playing on, then goes. The Cats inside 50 towards Ablett. Fisted away from him. To ground it comes. Through comes Andrew Collins. Eston Fairest a couple of years ago. Across to Morrissey. The Hawks starting to run with Pritchard on the outer side. Darren Pritchard long and low towards Hudson. Help from Deer. They'll be delighted to have him back. Paul Deer's kick in towards the pocket. Cats have the numbers, although Rogers runs out of room. And a throw in Hawthorn's right forward pocket.
Yes, Rogers named at full back, playing at centre half back. Billy Brownless playing alongside Tim Darcy, playing a 2-4 forwards and playing a loose man in defence Geelong, and that player is Michael Mansfield.
Morrissey with the ball, tries a banana. Difficult goal attempted, but it hits the woodwork, and only a point to Morrissey. He's known as the Freak, and that certainly would have been a sensational goal. Hawthorn now lead by only 2 points. There's the Geelong bench with Russell Merriman and Paul Brown.
Yes, well, he's been a good player, Brown. He's played in every game for Geelong throughout the season.
At both ends of the ground as McGrath kicks to himself and brings it out towards Neil. The better of Jarman on that occasion, and gets round the former North Adelaide best and fairest. Kicks towards Ablett again. He's forced to punch. Does so well. There's a Hawthorn player down and looks in trouble too. Rogers affects the spoil. Would be McGuinness in trouble. This is Neil onto Couch. Wider looking for Bairstow. Back to Malachellis. McGuinness is up, but he's not well. Ablett a chance. Tried to get the left-hand hand pass out to Couch going past. It was smothered. Collins runs into trouble in the form of Hocking. He goes back towards Couch. Couldn't take it cleanly. Ablett a chance. He's outside 50. Doesn't go for goal, just pushes down towards Brownless, who takes it beautifully off to Mench. Oh! Coat hanger.
Yes, well, Chris Langford, he read the play well there because he saw that Brownless was going to get the hand pass away. But then that's a dreadful tackle by Chris Langford from an experienced player, a regular Victorian player, interstate state of origin player, and really, I don't know whether he'll be playing there this year, Jared, you being a selector.
Don't ask me, Bernie.
No comment at this stage.
We'll have to ask Ted Whitten that.
Right, here's Mench looking for the first goal of the game. 25 metres out, but he's got it.
So Geelong take the lead. A non-event in the middle there. Morrissey comes through. Gets it to McGuinness, who's recovered okay. Handball finds Deer. Pritchard with good handball. Finds McGuinness again. He goes with his left foot to centre half forward. He'll be looking for Dunstall. Well done, McGrath. He's got support with Mansfield, who handballs over to Rogers. Rogers elects for the chip kick and finds Forsman, and he'll come onto his left foot. Down the corridor he goes. Poor kick, however. Morrissey in the middle. Retrieves the ball well onto the left foot. Ben Allen. Left-hand handball. Feigns the handball and centres the ball to Jason Dunstall. Terrific kick from Allen. Now that looked like a set play, Bernie.
Did he mean it though, Jared? I don't know. It was good tactics anyway. Jason Dunstall staying in that centre corridor area, giving himself a much better shot at goal. I don't know whether Ben Allen actually saw Jason Dunstall, but it was a centering kick, and that's a very good set play anyway.
Jason Dunstall for his 96th goal of the season. Looks pretty good off the boot. It's a goal. So Hawthorn kick away. They're 1-2. Only 2 points in front of Geelong. 1 goal straight.
We see this in replay. Ben Allen playing on the wing on Forsman. And there, I don't know whether he knew the option was on, but if you can get that into the player's mind that they must go for that centering kick when they're under pressure from the pocket, and the forwards know that, then you have every opportunity of scoring.
The Hawks by 2 points. Back in the centre once again. Handley's done a good job in recent weeks, but he was beaten then. Forsman dragged to the ground. The ball spilled free. Beautiful hand pass from Deer to Hall, who sets sail for goal, and there's another one to the Hawks. What a start. Tony Hall gets his first, and Hawthorn moved to 2-2, leading Geelong 1 straight goal.
Yes, well, it's all happening in the middle with Lawrence back into the Hawthorn side after that groin problem. And Geelong really missing out with Damien's Burke aggression at that centre bounce. Handley did do a good job in the early stages of the season at that centre bounce.
Doesn't Paul Deer make a difference, Bernie?
He certainly does. He gives them Hawthorn a target up on that forward line, and also an extra player on the forward line to worry about.
Well, Lawrence again to go at it with Handley. 8 points the margin. A couple of quick goals to the Hawks, who can win it out of the middle. Pritchard tried to soccer off the ground. Working hard was conned. Deer claimed. Handley loses it. Hocking trying to get it out to Bairstow. Could have been tackled high. Hocking again. Footer still going. Eventually it's Handley to Malakillis. To the half-forward line. Scott. They almost both mark that, so play on, the natural call. Forward of centre, it's Paul Deer again. He's had an ominous start as far as Geelong is concerned. Deer, long and low, in towards Dunstall and McGrath and co. Mansfield waiting down, could almost lose it. Steve Hocking can't shrug the Jarman tackle. It was a beauty. Malakillis at the bottom, and again, Jarman locks him up, so another bounce.
Yes, they're certainly looking impressive in the early stages, Hawthorn. Very aggressive at the ball. And with Paul Deer back in the forward line, they certainly do look more dangerous. Good tap from Lawrence. Finds Bairstow, however. Look at this. Look at the aggression on the tackles. Handley gets it to Rogers. Long handball finds Forsman. He'll go down the wing. A good shepherd behind the ball. Long kick should go out on the full. No, knocked on. Just dribbled out of bounds, and a throw in on centre wing.
That the players involved in that shepherd, Tony Hall and Ken Hinkley, of course, involved in a very interesting shepherd last year out at Waverley, Jared, when Hinkley was suspended in the finals.
Yes, it's amazing how history can repeat itself. Perhaps they'll play on each other in South Australia on Tuesday night. Once again, refer to Ted Whitten.
Come on, commit yourself.
The Hawks by 8 points. Rogers towards centre wing. Pritchard down in front, but loses it this time to Forsman. His hand pass is not effective. Andy Collins is there. Back towards centre wing again. Malakellis on all fours, couldn't do it. Neal goes out the back door. Now a chance for Hinkley to get a kick up to half forward. McGuinness couldn't take the mark. Morrissey does the roving work. Now the Hawks away. Pritchard again, receiving from Deere. To half forward. Malakellis off to Mansfield. He's claimed. Jarman in strongly. Hall, is he going to kick another one? Across the face. McGrath getting back on it, and he takes a good mark. Well, in the opening round this season, Malcolm Blight sent him down to Jason Dunstall. And Dunstall finished the day booting 12 goals. McGrath's got it again. There's a courageous mark by Gary Hocking.
Yeah, magnificent, Sandy. He
What
just
he's
had eyes for the ball only.
Yep, Mensch out in front of that player. Scott with him. Robert Scott, too much pace away from Gowes. Changes direction beautifully. Back to Mensch. David Mensch, long kick in towards half forward. Brownless, Ablett. Who's going to be first to recover? Billy off the ground.
Ball back in the centre at Kardinia to Parker. Big jump there from Handley, but he doesn't make contact with the ball. Jarman's handball is astray. It goes to Wills, who swings Geelong further into attack. Mensch has been held out of it by Gowers off the ball, but through he comes, the big youngster from Grovedale. Couch on his left foot, drives the ball at goal. It's one out, Brownless and Langford. And good defence, Langford knocks the ball through from behind.
Yes, he did well there. Chris Langford, very, very strong body on body. He hasn't had his best season, though, playing for the Hawks.
Kick in favours the outer side. Forsman could have taken that, but McGuinness picks up the crumbs. Left foot again, down to the wing, where Hinkley leads Deere to the ball and a strong mark in front.
Or a free, it didn't matter, Jerry, did it? Because Deere late on the scene there. Ben Hinkley had a very good year also again.
Very smooth player. Gliding away, he gives it to Malakellis, who pumps it in towards half forward. Darcy came steaming out, Mensch in front of the pack towards the boundary line. And sees it over.
Playing 2 full forwards, Sandy. We've got Brownless and Tim Darcy. Darcy being picked up by the former Geelong player Austin McCrabb. And, of course, Langford on Billy Brownless.
Nixon tries to hold the ball in for a moment. Forsman, claim, does get the handball away. Greg Deere. Hawthorn out of trouble, back towards centre wing. Some holding on, and the advantage is paid to Geelong here. Malakellis sweeps it in poorly towards half forward. Jenke couldn't take the mark, but he does have good backup support. Deere is proving a valuable link man early on in this game. His kick is wide. Jarman and Steve Hocking both there. Hocking runs out of room. On the centre wing, the outer side of the ground. That's the way the wind is blowing across the ground. A westerly today down at Kardinia Park. Hinkley almost tried to do too much. Forsman eventually has plenty of time to float a kick which does prop a little in that breeze. It could be favouring the left of screen. Robert Scott is clean bowled. Gowes gets it away. The Hawks are out of trouble again. In towards the middle. Condon off to Allen. Danger here for Geelong. Allen's kick floating down inside 50. Well picked up by Hudson, but he needs support. Deere going with him is Neal, and eventually it's taken over the line. Steve Lawrence it was with Neal.
And a good tackle there from Mansfield, putting that pressure on Paul Hudson. Had he got around there, they would have been in a bit of strife, I think, the Cats.
It's 2 goals apiece in what's proving to be an exciting opening term. Neal kicks Geelong into attack, but McGuinness is waiting all alone. Takes an easy chest mark. Left footer. Drives Hawthorn back into attack, but it's all Geelong there. There's 3 Geelong players to only one Hawthorn. Poor kick, however, from Neal. And Ben Allen has chipped in and taken a chest mark, which will prove dangerous for Geelong.
I've seen that on a couple of occasions, Jared, where they've gone short out of the back line, Geelong.
On he goes now, looks to be having a shot at goal from 50 metres out. It's wide. At the back, the fly was from Deer, but the ball floats through for a behind. Hawthorn now lead by just 2 points.
Well, he always started that on the wrong side, really. He needed to aim at the left-hand goalpost if he was to have a chance of kicking that goal. Looking at the windsock, the wind blowing directly across the ground.
Tim McGrath, the redhead, kicks the ball in and does it well. He's got the speedster in Wills. Well, Geelong have got a paddock open now here with Stephen Hocking. Runs his full distance, almost over the 10-yard line. Oh, at the back of the fly from Billy. Well, an interesting one there, Bernie. I know you're a bit critical of players that jump early. How'd you see that one?
I'm not critical of players jumping early. I'm critical of players putting the hand on the shoulder. As we see this, he jumps very early. I don't think he did interfere with Langford there. And
He didn't give him a run at the ball, but anyhow, in comes Brownless with a shot at goal from 50 metres out. Distance won't be a problem, but accuracy is, and only one behind.
Just to get back to that, Jared, I am very critical of players getting the ride by putting their hands on the shoulders.
1 point the margin.
Enough said.
Good, tight opening quarter. Langford. Acting captain today, Chris Langford. And he'll be looking for a big game. Over the centre he goes. Paul Deer was there, couldn't take it. Socket off the ground by Jarman, and very effective. He's gained probably 45 to 50 metres. It's inside 50 once again for the Hawks. Hudson Claim does well. Got to give a little ground. Back to Jarman again, who's followed down play. He wants Dunstall. Could have been called out, Tony Hall, but he did it beautifully.
So that's courage again, wasn't it, from Tony Hall? He took that magnificent mark and won the game for Hawthorn last week against the Brisbane Bears. And look at the way he just goes back. Just fearless, Tony Hall. Jason Dunstall really could have applied maybe just a little bit of a shepherd there.
So Hall for his second. He snuck it home. One behind only. Well, that's a bad miss. A bad miss. 2-4. Plays 2-2. Just over 8.5 minutes remaining.
He's only kicked 16 goals now for the season, Tony Hall. Over 40 last year. Well, they've had a poor return from their two very good forwards in Hudson and Hall.
McGrath goes to the outer side. Hawthorn, the Flyers, and the Hawthorn free kick. Greg Deer. This game isn't only a psychological test for Geelong, it's very important for Hawthorn if they're going to stay in touch with the sixth. There's a good mark taken by Handel. Off to Hinckley. Towards centre wing. He wants Neal, but he's beaten point blank by big Steve Lawrence, who takes a fine one-handed mark. That kick also poorly directed. Forsman couldn't take it. Butters up again for a second attempt. Still going, Darren Forsman. Eventually gets the hand pass away. And now it's Buddha Hocking, who gets Geelong out of trouble. Over the centre. Couch waits at the back. Wants someone running past, and he's got no one. Collins is there, but he's ripped into by Scott, and he'll lose it.
Well, uncharacteristic there of Andy Collins. A little bit of a fumble there from that indiscriminate hand pass from Paul Couch. Fierce tackling by this man, Robert Scott.
He's looking for something because distance is a problem. Langford hammers it away from Ablett. It's like a push. Pritchard gets it out to Langford. Now Collins steadying from half back, and this time the Hawks out of strike.
And a terrific mark out on the centre wing by Darren Jarman, who appears to be shadowed by Stephen Hocking. Hocking, of course, took Simon Atkins out of the game last week and had a big part to play in their victory over Footscray. Poor kick, but it finds Condon. Condon to Dunstall. Dunstall usually takes those ones. Good pressure from McGrath. Off the ground again, Dunstall. McGrath out of the air with a swipe. Allen round the corner. Hall again, taken high. No free kick. Well cleared by Rogers. Punch on by Hocking. Ablett running for the ball. It's a foot race, and Collins wins it. He's tripped.
Yep.
Once again, yes, a free kick on this occasion.
And it's had to be paid there. The umpire's well aware of that, of course, after that incident with Deer and Foster, resulting in that broken leg to Peter Foster.
Genki coming down from his half-back flank. Poor kick, however, no options there. Hawthorn with numbers on the ground. McGuinness is all alone on the half-back flank. It's Rogers, however. He takes a courageous mark, running with the flight of play and also with the sun glaring into his eyes.
Yes, Will should have taken that mark at half back there for Geelong. Look at this in replay. Gower's getting down. He did start off at centre half back or as a loose man in defence. I'm not too sure. It's hard to tell where they do line up these days.
Well, a poor kick from 35 metres. He also, like Hall, has pulled it left. And poor kicking from easy shots from Hawthorn.
They really do need to convert early, Hawthorn. You'd expect them to come out fired up. They've been under intense pressure. They've been ridden off in a lot of circles. This Hawthorn side been really the measuring stick of the competition over the last 10 years. A few cracks starting to appear in 1992.
McGrath goes straight down the middle. Jarman and Handley both there. Condon flicks it out. Jenke first to it. Ooh, almost ran into Ablett, which could have been quite serious. Pritchard to Dunstall. Didn't take the mark. Malakillis crunched. Ball spills free towards the boundary line and Hudson sees it over. Inside the Hawks' attacking zone, they lead by 3 points, but it could have been considerably more. Hinkley ripped off the football before he could get a kick. Hocking, claimed by Condon. Brian Sheehan comes in to effect the bounce. Crowd of around 25,000 packed in to Kardinia Park this afternoon. Handley up early over Lawrence. Wills gets a hurried kick. Pritchard and Jenke could raffle it. They combine instead. Condon from 50 metres. Pulls that one as well. Another one goes begging. So wasted opportunities, Bernie.
Yes, I just wonder, Sandy, if the wind is favouring Hawthorn's end slightly, because the ball carried a fair distance there from the 50-metre mark from Condon.
Once again, McGrath pumps Geelong into attack. A poor kick, however. And McGuinness will now drive Hawthorn into attack. Had a good opening quarter. McGuinness been very busy despite a heavy knock early. Pumps the ball high. Looking for flyers at the bottom of the pack. There's a handball come out to Ablett. Ablett onto McGrath, who's linking up well from fullback. Doing well on Dunstall. Looking for Bairstow. He's pushed out of it by Morrissey. And Hawthorn with the numbers brings the ball over the boundary line through Gowers.
Yes, Bairstow being tagged by Morrissey. Only one possession at the 25-minute mark of the first quarter to Bairstow.
Paul here takes front spot out to Morrissey, to Jenke. Jenke looking forward. There isn't many options, and a poor kick finds Rogers at centre half back. He goes high. Over the back was Collins, but Scott does well on the ground. A good handball to Couch, and Couch puts it up in the air for Darcy, who once again has the ball punched away by former teammate McCrabb. Pritchard on now to Jenke. No, that's Nixon. Allen wide, a good kick finds Dunstall. Dunstall swings around onto his left. He's looking to the centre.
Free kick.
Free kick to Hudson, who was doing the shepherding there, Jared, against McGrath.
Just taking a little bit high, I think, Bernie.
He was taken high. I don't know whether there's a real lot in it, but Hudson made it look bad.
Well, Paul Hudson has struggled this year, but I have liked the way he's attacked the football today.
Yes, they need him firing in that forward line, Hawthorn, if they are to be any chance in 1992.
Yes, his first kick for the afternoon. Could it be a goal from 30 metres? He pulls it back, but the wind drives it round. I think he's put it through. A great kick. Yes, back in the centre, and it appears that Pritchard has been given the task of replacing Johnny Platten, lining up as first rover for Hawthorn. As Hawthorn through Condon go further into attack.
Down to the half-forward line, only as far as Mansfield. Played extremely well last week against Footscray. Gives it to Hinkley, who goes wide. Couch and Condon over the line on the full, so it'll be Condon who'll bring it back into play. Been Hawthorn's quarter so far. Tony Hall. 4 kicks to him. Centering this time to half forward. Deer edged out of it. And a good mark. Mansfield. Kick smothered. Well played by Pritchard. Shows desperation as he pounces on the ball. Jarman kicks in towards the pocket region. McGrath leading out Dunstall, and the defender is quite content to see it run over the line.
That was a great smother there by Pritchard, I think it was, the player. He certainly saved 100 metres there, the 50-metre kick that would have come from Mansfield, and the 50 metres that's gone into the Hawthorn forward line. Don't look at me like that, Sandy, you know what I mean.
Working with a mathematician. Malakellis claim. Scott in trouble at the bottom. He looks as though he's paddling a canoe. For a bounce. 30 metres out from the Hawks scoring zone. Ablett tries to surge it away. Tony Hall had it spent before he got it. Allen, a quick kick. Dunstall from behind. Not effective. Good mark. Man in front. Mansfield.
He's doing a good job, Sandy. Has a loose man in defence, Mansfield.
Off to McGrath. Has a tentative bounce, then steadies himself and goes long. That's a good kick. Out towards centre wing. Minch was doing some pushing and shoving there. Being picked up by the umpire, and it will go back to James Morris.
Well, Hawthorn have got numbers. Pritchard doing well on the ball. 9 possessions already to Darren Pritchard. And this one, as always, he's looking for Dunstall. And a low trajectory pass hits him right on the chest.
And the Geelong defenders failing to get back there and fill up those gaps. It was Pritchard. It was a very low pass. You see that gap there left by the Geelong players, allowing Dunstall to run into. It's something they must do. They really must get back and assist Tim McGrath.
Well, can Jason Dunstall edge closer to that magical ton? 96 already. From 45 metres, he floats it through. The umpire likes it. It's a goal. Right on the siren. And Hawthorn, a good quarter. 10 scoring shots, 4 goals, 6. Lead Geelong 2 goals, 2.
By Hawthorn, they dominated. 4-6, 30. Their lead is 16 points. It could have... So into the second quarter here at Kardinia Park. Hawthorn leading by 16 points as bright sunshine covers the ground. Lawrence wins it down towards half forward, but it's pushed back towards the centre again. Nixon couldn't take it cleanly. Socket off the ground by Morrissey, down to the right half forward flank. Deere is there for the Hawks, first to the football. With him is Hinkley, who's pulled off the ball, and he'll take the free kick.
There's no use pleading there to the umpire. An obvious free kick against Deere. Ken Hinkley did very well to get his body in front of Deere on that occasion.
Hinkley for kick number 4. To centre wing, Hanley in from the side, Mench at the back. There's some pushing. Chris Mitchell saying go back, and the ball will go to Hawthorn to be taken by Greg Deere. Flat-looking punt up towards the 50-metre line, and Lawrence plucks it out of the air.
He stole that one, didn't he, Sandy?
Plays straight on to Jarman, who's still outside 50. Heads in towards goal. It's a lovely looking kick by Jarman. What a goal. So the Hawks continue on. They're 5-6, leading Geelong 2-2.
Well, Jarman, another player who's capable of kicking goals for the Hawks. 41 goals last year. You see this in replay. Lawrence, who is playing in the ruck, changing at centre half back with Greg Deere. They have the height to really worry the Cats, and they're doing that at this stage of the game.
Well, often in AFL football, at the present time, poor form is a good indicator for a win, and that appears to be the case for Hawthorn today. Been down, Geelong has been up, but Hawthorn looked aside with the momentum at the moment as Ben Allen just pushes Wills off the ball, gives it to Pritchard, who was BOG in the first quarter, looking for Dunstall. Good punch from McGrath, but he finds Hall, who's been dangerous. But it was a flying shot at goal that went amiss, and only, well, it was out on the full.
11 shots to 4, Jared, at this stage. The Hawks really dominating.
Says it all, Bernie, I think.
It does.
Short chip kick in finds Buddha Hocking. Best and fairest for Geelong last year. An extremely talented player. Oh, push out from Deere on Hanley. No free kick. And I guess that was fair enough, seeing as he had his eyes only for the ball.
Surely you have to touch the ball, though, Jared. Isn't that part of the ruling?
Bit of a grey area, that one, Bernie. As long as they're going for the ball, I think it's A-OK.
Oh, OK.
Bairstow, his first kick for the afternoon. Drives it long down the wing. But Hawthorn have all the answers at the moment. They're a little bit unsettled on the Geelong forward line. Good play from McGuinness. Back to Bairstow. Scragged as he kicked it. He finds Billy Brownless, the boy from Jerilderie, New South Wales, who can kick the ball a country mile. There's a brother Anson playing in the reserves for the Sydney Swans. Let's see if he can get a goal from outside the 50. Long and high. It's at the front of the square. Darcy pushes his opponent out. Well played by the super cat Ablett. Gets the ball out to Couch, a left footer who had nowhere to go except the boundary line. Nixon brings the ball back in. Well, that's a surprise. Poor play. Nixon gives it to Forsman, who can make him pay, and he does with a goal.
20 plays 36. Again, we're back to a 16-point margin. Lawrence charges at Hanley and wins it handsomely down to half forward. Hudson cutting across. Back to Nixon. Should go on with it quickly. A little too far for Allen. Out coming to meet it is Pritchard. Chips to Tony Hall at the 50-metre line. Can't take it. With him was Rogers. And finally the boundary line.
Well, they should have made better of that, Hawthorn, because Nixon had two players to kick to and kicked in between both players. And Tony Hall, he really should have taken that mark out in front.
Lawrence trying to do the work at the back. Bairstow, a high kick, but it's wide. It's very wide.
That's an indication of the pressure, though, Sandy, that's being applied to the Geelong side. They have to kick very hurriedly.
You think there's a fair psychological barrier there for Geelong?
Well, they haven't had a good record against the Cats.
Hocking's kick is high, and Couch has made the meat in the sandwich. Forsman's hand pass, too swift for Hanley over the line.
I think one of the interesting points is that Geelong have only lost one game since round 2 of the season. It's difficult to maintain such momentum throughout the year. They're almost cherry ripe to be knocked off.
A long way to go, Jared.
Certainly is, Bernie.
A long way to go. They're a very talented side.
I do like the way Hawthorn has started this game. As Neal drives the ball to space. Big boy Minch, who was excellent last week against Footscray. Couldn't take it on that occasion. Jarman's pushed out of it. Gowers mops up for him to Nixon. Back to Jarman. The best kick in AFL football goes long. He's looking for Dunstall. Hall once again battling his way through the pack. He's retarded. The umpire will ball the football up 15 metres out from goal.
That's a good tackle there. Applied by Andrew Rogers. Named at fullback, but lining up at centre half-back. One of the changes to the selected Geelong side.
Spiro Malakalis to Bairstow. Bairstow coming into the game now. Good sign for Geelong. Back to Dunstall, to Allen. Allen round the corner. He's got Hudson, who takes a good mark. And incensed by the treatment that Spiro delivered following his mark.
Well, it was always going to be a dangerous ploy, that one. Kicking across goal there from Bairstow. See Hudson take that mark. Malakalis in late. Hudson lining up for his second goal.
Well, Hudson's fired up. There's no question of that. He's been under pressure at a game in the seconds 2 weeks ago, but he can kick his second for the game. From 30 metres out, a good goal.
22-point margin, and under 20 minutes remaining as Hanley this time charges in the middle. Light rain starting to fall. Morrissey overruns the football. Pritchard in over it. Out it comes. Hawthorn playing good football at the moment. Allen towards Dunstall.
Well, the big thing at the moment, Sandy, they're winning just about every centre break, and that's coming from the big bloke Lawrence, who missed a couple of weeks with a groin injury. But with Damien Burke out of the side, Hanley's filling in the ruck, and also Pritchard has filled in admirably for Johnny Platten, who's out of the side with a hamstring injury.
Jason Dunstall for number 98. He stabs at that. Looks pretty good. 98 goals for the season to Jason Dunstall. And the Hawks open up the biggest lead of the game to date. 7-6 plays 3-2.
There's Jason Dunstall. Well, he enjoys his best average against any side in this against Geelong, over 6 goals a match, which is better than against any other side in the AFL. 12 goals in that opening round against Geelong. His opponent that day, Tim McGrath, also.
The umbrellas are up at Kardinia Park, and so the worrying signs for coach Malcolm Blight. From the middle, taken out was Brown. A little too high, says the umpire, and he'll take the free kick.
It's good to see the umpires giving free kicks for those really infringements. Terrible play there from the Geelong, the Hawthorn player.
Couch's kick has put Darcy under pressure, and he's lost it. So the Hawks in playing inspired football at the moment, and here's McCrabb. Back at his old home is Austin. He kicks towards centre wing. Could have been some pushing on Neil, not noticed. Forsman goes over the top with a sweeping hand pass, trying to accommodate Bairstow, who was taken out. Jarman leaves it for the dashing McCrabb. He works hard at the base of the pack. Condon close to the boundary line. And the ball up. Deer, front spot. Mensch goes for a second attempt. Pritchard claim. Gets it away to Condon. He's playing very well, Darren Pritchard. To centre wing. Lawrence Hanley over the top.
Rain falling fairly heavily now here at Kardinia Park.
It's a good player, Handley. Great mark, and he handballs to Darcy. Rogers it was, who kicks it long, and a good mark from Brown, who's come off the bench, trying to give Geelong some bite up forward from 50 metres with heavy rain falling. Paul Brown. It's an excellent kick. It's floated through the goals. Great goal. It's an important goal, that one for Geelong. Game was just starting to slip away from them. Poor bounce from umpire Sheen. Favours Hawthorn. Push in the back on Pritchard. No free kick, however. Out of the centre was Wills, who, well, almost throw the ball to Forsman. Forsman round the corner. Oh, now that, Bernie.
That's what we're talking about, Jared. And the umpire saw it. And that is fantastic. Good to see an umpire who knows the rules, because Hocking lifted himself by putting the hands on the shoulder of his opponent, Andrew Collins.
I couldn't agree with you more on that occasion, Bernie. Couch, first possession for the quarter. Collins leads the play, coming through like a steam train. Doesn't take the ball with him. Once again, the goer from Hawthorn. Neil overruns it. Over to Pritchard. 13 possessions to Pritchard. Make that 14. Jenke, a beautiful kick, but not on this occasion. He still finds Dunstall, who slips the ground a little bit soft in places. Oh, tough decision, umpire. Free kick to McGrath.
The player that's been very quiet for Geelong, Gary Ablett, Superman. Only 2 kicks and 1 hand pass, 3 possessions. They really need him to fire.
McGrath was looking for Handley. It's Condon. Flicks it round his body and towards half forward. Steve Hocking. Wills, former Victorian sprint champion. To the half forward line. Buddha flies but slips as he goes. Collins tidies up for the Hawks. Back towards Deer. Well fisted away by Hinkley. Ablett. Loose hand pass. Opens the door for Pritchard. A high kick. Dunstall's at the back.
Yes, very sloppy hand pass there coming from Gary Ablett. He's really failed to have any effect on the game whatsoever. Being picked up by Ray Jenke. That hand pass, that sloppy hand pass, resulting in another forward thrust by the Hawks.
This for number 99. 40 metres out. Away to the left. First behind, Bernie.
That's first blemish for Jason Dunstall. 3 goals, 1.
99 goals, 98 goals, 52 for the season. As McGrath goes short. Had a couple of options there. Picked out Rogers. Very poor kick. Drops short to Jenke. The freak Morrissey is running down the middle. Doesn't go long. A chip in towards full forward. Dunstall. That looks like number 99.
Average 4.6 goals a match. Well, he's only 1 behind that. Bairstow out of the centre for Geelong. They need a goal. At the back of the pack was Brownless. He couldn't take it. McCrabb Poor handball, but Collins gives him support. Gets the ball out to Langford. Left foot down the wing, and he's got Pritchard. Well, Pritchard's run amok here at Kardinia Park today as Ben Allen gets the ball back to Pritchard, coming up for his 17th possession in a half. Terrific football. But here is Geelong's Great Wall of China and Ken Hinkley. Hinkley on the left foot. Poor kick from Hinkley, Morrissey and Handley. And Pritchard once again. But a ball up will take place just on the Hawthorn side of centre wing.
Yes, Jared. Fortunate Hinkley's in the back line for Geelong today. He's been very good. He's kept Deer reasonably quiet, although Deer has had a couple of knock-ons which have been effective.
The rain clears as Ablett gets a short kick, only as far as Greg Deer. Paul Brown almost throws it out to Robert Scott, but he's in a ton of trouble. The Hawks having the numbers. Look at that wet weather play of Jarman. Superb pickup. Bairstow crunched and take that one.
You can usually work out how a team is going to go, the way they tackle, and the way Hawthorn has tackled today has been magnificent. Wills off the ground for Geelong, and Merriman on.
So Malcolm Blight making changes. Tony Hall takes the mark and plays on quickly. Poor hand pass towards Ben Allen. Steve Hocking, the ball spills free. Merriman quickly in the thick of things. Does get it out the back door to Bairstow. And now Couch. Paul Couch with the left foot, feigning the hand pass. Brownless the target. That one sticking for Billy.
And a strong mark in front by Billy Brownless. Another change by Geelong with Darcy coming off, and he's been replaced by Mansfield.
Brownless looking for his second goal. Has kicked it. 2 to Billy. And a much-needed 1 to Geelong. They're 5-2, but they trail Hawthorn 8-7.
It's very impressive Hawthorn performance up into this stage of the game. And a player creating a lot of opportunities is the big bloke in the ruck, Steve Lawrence. Handley competing well, but just lacking the inches to have a big effect in that centre bounce area.
Just over 11 minutes to play in this half of football. Stephen Lawrence dominating that centre bounce. Geelong forward again. Oh, terrific pickup from Mensch. Puts Bairstow in on the run, and Bairstow goes long. It's Billy again. Can it roll through, or is it touched? That's a goal.
Crowd coming to life here at Kardinia Park with 2 quick goals to the home side. Back in the middle once again. Lawrence wins it. Pritchard's kick is high, but only as far as Steve Hocking. Rogers runs off from half back. Puts pressure on Mansfield. Nixon close to the boundary line.
Now that should have been a holding the ball decision, Sandy, because Nixon had the ball, threw it out in front of him. Technically he was in possession of the ball when he was tackled. Bad decision there by the umpire.
Throw in on centre wing.
Caught red hot.
Lawrence and Handley do battle. Forsman in front. Bairstow taken out of it. Deer at the bottom. Now Hocking. It'll be slippery now. Steve Hocking and Gary Hocking both in there. Eventually Brian Sheen says, hang on boys, we'll see if we can clear it out. Handley and Lawrence. Morrissey attempts a sock off the ground. Merriman will go again. Towards centre wing. Good tackle by Couch on Allen. Ball spills free to Pritchard. Jarman and Hocking. Holding on, surely. To Jarman. They're still holding.
They spotted it finally, Sandy. There was an obvious free kick earlier there. Hocking on Jarman, hanging onto the Guernsey.
Gowers. Still outside 50. We've got Dunstall with 98 goals for the season. Gowers goes long. Paul Deer is in that pack. Ken Hinkley in front. McGrath takes it away. Left foot kick to accommodate Mansfield. He's got to beat 2 of them. Austin McCrabb shows dash, but overruns it. Condon gives it back to him. McCrabb steadies. passes over centre wing, and the pass is a good one because it finds Lawrence down towards the right half-forward flank. Kicks to centre half-forward, and there's a good mark taken by Handley. Well, he too has shown great improvement. Off to the gliding Hinckley towards Mansfield. They come over the top of him, Neild included, taken out by Nixon. McCrabb at the bottom. Is he held? No, said the umpire. Go on with it. So James Morrissey does. Down to the 50-metre line. Deere is there. Tony Hall. Malachellis somehow shrugs the tackle. At the back is Gowes, however, who takes a timely mark. Pritchard again. It's kick number 12. What a half he's had. Handley can't take it initially. The big man paddles it towards the boundary line. Dunstall is with him, and Handley's quite happy to see it over the line on the outer side.
Shaping up as a great contest here at Kardinia Park. Both sides, champion players. The rain continues to tumble down here in Moorabbin. Kardinia Park, I should say.
You're suggesting that Moorabbin's wet, Jared?
I just looked at the mud in the centre, and it was really very similar.
Just think about that rain belt, Jared. St Kilda Moorabbin down right in the middle of it.
Hocking on the ground. Handball quickly. Hudson with a little bit of space. That was a throw, but got away with it. And at the centre of the ground was Dunstall. And could this be number 100?
Well, he's been there a couple of times before, of course, Jason Dunstall. It shouldn't be a problem. Nerves lining up for the 100th. Kicking from about 25 metres out.
Well, this is a soda for his 100th. Leans back, straight through the middle. 100 goals, Jason Dunstall.
And here come the Hawk fans. There's going to be a hold-up here because they're streaming onto the ground. Out come the mounted police. But what a fine achievement by Jason Dunstall. 100 goals, and really his seasons at Hawthorn have been quite outstanding. He's been averaging 4.64 goals a game. And 737 goals in 159 matches coming into today's game. And as a former great full forward, Bernie, you'd be very proud of him.
Yes, well, that's the third time he's kicked over 100 goals, Jason Dunstall. Of course, he kicked 138 goals back in 1989. He's been Hawthorn's leading goal kicker every season since 1986. And he's a magnificent player. There's that kick at goal. Jason Dunstall's 100th goal for the season. He is really a role model for young players and creating problems again for the Geelong defence, as we see Andrew Rogers now picking up Jason Dunstall and McGrath going out to pick up Tony Hall.
So the Hawk fans delirious. Well, they may be. They're back on the right side of the fence now. But more importantly, it's a goal for Hawthorn. They move to 9-7, leading Geelong 6-2. Here's the bounce. It's won by Lawrence, who went it alone. Down towards half forward. Morrison trying some delicate stuff. Jarman trying to block, but can't. Couch gets the run. Off to Merriman. Geelong want the next goal if they're going to stay in the hunt. Towards the 50-metre line, Ablett and Jenke chasing, but the boundary line will beat them both.
Well, we know Gary Ablett's a magician, Sandy, but he really has done a disappearing act today.
Yes, perhaps Ray Jenke has produced the kryptonite, kept Superman to virtually a human effort only. Scott. McGuinness, who's been good today. Allen back to Scott, back to McGuinness. It was pushed after he kicked it. But the ball was just taken out of bounds by McGuinness, and a throw-in will take place. The half-forward flank on the outer side for Geelong. Mentioned Deere. 18-year-old against a two-time premiership player. Bairstow under pressure, still gets his kick. Through comes Collins. Always runs in straight lines, a courageous player. Pritchard again. Outstanding here today. Long kick into the forward line. Hudson and Malachellis do battle. Malachellis gets the handball out. Deere taps it on for Hawthorn. Hall on to Hudson. This is his second for the quarter. A great kick from Hudson.
The Hawks are 10-7. Geelong 6-2. Handley goes with a roundhouse right, and it clean bowls everyone. Mansfield can get the run. He's beset upon. McGuinness in trouble. Gowes at the back gets a hurried left foot kick, but straight to Brown, just outside 50. Towards full forward, Jenke chances his arm with a fist. Scott, now Brownless, needs help. With him is Merriman, who goes to ground. And the Hawk defence bottle it up. Langford on top.
It's that first hand pass there from Billy Brownless. Needed to be better. I had a chance had that been on the target.
Under 5 minutes remaining. Brownless again. But the boundary line beats him. Still in the right forward pocket. Deere and Hanley, the two number 14s. Hanley tries to pluck it out of the air. Hocking does get it out. That was Gary Hocking. Pritchard. Look at the Hawk boys fighting for it. Eventually it's Condon. But over on the foot. Paul Couch to bring it back into play. He hasn't had a huge effect. Or even a huge effect. 7 kicks. Towards full forward. Langford gets a short one. Just to the half-back line. Taken away by Jenke. The Hawthorn machine out of trouble. Back towards centre wing. Deere and Hinkley fly for it. McGrath accepting the hand pass from Hocking. Mansfield sees it skid off the turf and go over the line. Throw in. No one going anywhere there. And so another bounce. Darren Pritchard on the bottom of the pack. 15 kicks. 7 hand passes. Fantastic for not even a half of football. McCrabb goes through but without the football. Collins heads for the boundary line with not a great deal of subtlety.
You're suggesting it could have been a free kick, Sandy?
I just said it wasn't subtle.
Forsman, left footer, deep into Geelong's forward line. At the back is Brownless, but Jenke takes a marvellous mark. He's playing on one of the greatest players in the game, Ablett. Ricky Nixon, the president, who kicked it like one of the members of the CIA. Ball back, centre half forward for Geelong. Through comes Jenke once again. Bairstow under pressure. Just pushed it wide and only a behind. They need goals, Geelong. They trail 6-3 to 10-7. Hawthorn having kicked 6 goals for the quarter.
Or 1 to 6-1, Jared. In favour of Hawthorn for the second term.
Langford, lovely long kick back into play, going to the outer side. Minch in trouble, gets a short kick. There's a lot of brown and gold there. Merriman asked the question, and as he's ripped to the ground, gets the answer in the affirmative. Ablett. He's had only 3 kicks.
Well, the first opportunity really that he has been able to get away from Ray Jenke out on the lead. A simple mark in the end. Have this shot from just inside the 50-metre line.
Directly in front, it should be a straightforward kick for Gary Ablett. It's going to be close, however, and I think he's missed. Well, they're the ones Geelong at this stage of the game cannot afford to miss. 6-4 plays 10-7, 10 effective scoring shots to 17. As the acting captain waits for the ball to be relayed back. The Hawks coming into this game sitting in 6th spot on the ladder and hoping desperately to hold their position. Langford again goes to the outer side. Nixon tried to get it away, couldn't do so. Couch on the Brown. On all fours, he gets the hand pass to Bairstow. Can they mount something here? Merriman just outside 50. As Langford goes, bang. There's a free kick going against him. It'll go to Ablett.
Umpire indicating too high on Gary Ablett against Chris Langford. It was a very poor kick into the forward line coming from the player there, Merriman. He wobbled off the boot very poorly, in fact. And it gave Langford the opportunity to thump it away had he done it legally. And we see he's all over the top of Gary Ablett, although Ablett was falling at the time.
Well, can he make amends for that last kick? He certainly should. He's considerably closer. And with only 3/4 of a minute, in fact, under that remaining, this is an important kick for Geelong. They need this one. The margin at the moment is 27 points, and it's now 26.
He's having an off day, isn't he?
Well, there's a man kicking without confidence there, Gary Ablett. Almost a gimme under normal conditions, but that is a bad miss for the Cats.
Langford again. Beautiful kick. Almost down to the centre. Jarman waits down in front. Very, very skillful. Have the Hawks got time for a score? No, I think not, with Hinkley defending. He tumbles a punt back towards centre wing. Bairstow charges in and takes a good moment. But he hasn't been sighted enough. As the siren sounds to end the first half here at Kardinia Park, the honours well and truly with the reigning premiers 10-7. 67, leading Geelong 6-5, 41. And of course the big highlight in this first half surrounds this man, Jason Dunstall. He's booted 5 goals, 2 in the first quarter, 3 in the second, and he's hit the 100 in season 1992. Gary Ablett has not had his kicking boots on. Repeating the half-time score, the Hawks in control, 10-7, 67. Geelong a 6-5, 41.
In that first quarter, a lot of people thought with Platten out of the side that the Hawks would have lost a lot around the... So much goal-kicking potential on that forward line.
Let's see what they can do in the second half. The first half belonged to Hawthorn. And they've started in similar fashion with a belt down towards half-forward. Couch to tidy up, but there's a free kick going the way of Geelong, and the advantage is paid. Couch's kick back towards the centre, and the mark taken by Minch.
Oh, that's nearly play on, yes.
He does now to Hocking, Gary Hocking. The Cats want the first goal. Ablett down to full forward. Tackled beautifully. Ball spills free. McCrabb claim. Again, it spills to Merriman. Now an opportunity for Couch, who heads towards full forward. Better kick. Mansfield has it.
As Mansfield, of course, played as a loose man in defence in the first half before he had a spell on the bench. And they do need his goal-kicking potential on that forward line. He is lining up here from a very tough angle, though, from this right forward pocket.
Well, both sides have missed opportunities, but this is not an easy one. Andy Collins making sure he's not going to play on. Let's see what he can do with the left foot. One behind.
Well, an ordinary kick in the end, Jared, because he was a left footer and favoured by that angle. Mansfield and Geelong have missed a couple of opportunities. Ablett in the second quarter, and now Mansfield at the start of this third quarter. Ablett lining up for Geelong at full forward, still being followed by Jenke.
Langford brings it back into play. Towards the half-back line. His target was Greg Deere. Orsman's kicking towards the pocket. Merriman with a whistle. A long free kick.
He was being held, Sandy. I didn't think the umpire had spotted that, but Langford with a firm grip on the Guernsey of Billy Brownless.
Now, Billy kicked a couple of goals. Kicked one in the first, one in the second. And a vital one for the Cats. 30 metres out, tight angle. Great start for Geelong. Brownless gets his third. 7-6, plays 10-7.
It's 19-point margin now, and much better signs here. Have a look at this free kick again. Langford caught behind, grabs hold of Brownless as Guernsey and keeps hold of it. So well spotted there from the umpire. But better signs here for Geelong at the start of the third term. They've been in attack for most of the 3 minutes that we've gone so far in this second half.
Well, a takeaway from the centre bounce, all important here. Lawrence versus Handley. Lawrence fell heavily. He looks to be okay, however. A group of players struggle for the ball. Through comes Malakalis with eyes only for the man. And that player is still down in the middle of the ground.
Pritchard.
This time Pritchard.
And Lawrence a little bit slow getting to his feet, Jared. That would be a big loss, although they've got Greg Deere in this side as well. And he did hit the ground very hard there.
Fell heavily on his buttock, but I think he's okay. The back is Paul Deere. Morrissey came through with a fresh air. Another fresh air from McGrath. Nixon looking for the dangerous Dunstall. Can he pick it up? Not on this occasion. And his opponent in the first half, McGrath, takes it away to Couch. And away goes Bairstow, the skipper. Best on the ground last week, a little bit quiet this week. Handley driving the ball long. He's got Mansfield alone. And Mansfield takes a mark 40 metres out from goal. And looks to be going back intent on kicking his first for this afternoon.
The crowd just starting to sense something here at Kardinia Park. Of course, mainly a Geelong crowd, very parochial. Things starting to happen for the Cats. Mansfield, of course, turned the game around for Geelong last year in one game at Victoria Park when he went to full forward.
He was excellent last week also. Mansfield, the left footer from 40 minutes. It's a high kick. The crowd that like it. It's home.
Is back to 13 points. Who can win it out of the centre? Hocking. Beautifully played to the running Bairstow. It doesn't sit kindly for him. He's inside 50. Steve Hocking off the Couch onto the right foot. A high kick. Where's Ablett? No mark. Mansfield. Can he kick another one? Taking a lot of time. Sun could have been caught in the player's eyes on that occasion. Here's Merriman. He might have a shot. The left foot round his body. Which way will it bounce? Across the face of goal. And pressure now on the Hawthorn defence. Jenke brings it out for Jarman. Clever kick in towards Allen. A little too far, in fact, for him. Lawrence claim. Tries to paddle it free. Allen soccers off the ground. This game's gone up a notch in tempo. McGrath had it spent early. Hocking also. McGrath in over the top of Hall. And umpire Brian Sheehan comes in to take charge.
They've come out fired up, haven't they, the Cats, after half-time? I think Malcolm would have been pretty severe on them at that half-time break.
Just forward of centre for Hawthorn. Next goal critical for both. Lawrence wins it, but taken by Hocking, only a short kick. They get another chance, Gary Hocking. No, it's gone against Geelong. Holding on. Taken by Steve Lawrence. To the 50-metre line. Gowers got the height but couldn't quite take the mark. Hinkley defends to the out-of-bound ball.
Yes, well done, Ken Hinkley. He was only 2 against 1 there. The only Geelong player in the contest. Did well to stop Gowers from taking that mark.
Gowers over the back. Umpire gets a touch. Put that down as a statistic for him. Hinkley comes through but gets unloaded, possibly decapitated, and takes a free kick, but too high. Yes, well, the umpire got his first kick in league football there. Little toe poke as Hinkley drives Geelong back into attack. The fly was from Mansfield. He couldn't take it. Minch appealing for the free kick, removes his mouth guard to give the umpire a gobful, but to no avail as Hawthorn go further into attack. Jarman round the corner. Hudson in the lead, but I think the boundary line may beat them all. Stephen Lawrence just assists it over the line. Throw in on Hawthorn's half-forward line. They need a goal to repel this Geelong onslaught. Deere could have handballed to Morrissey, but goes long. One out is Dunstall. Drops back. Too easy for the Hawthorn champion.
Well, that's made to order for Jason Dunstall in a situation like that. Because of his great upper body strength. You see just there where he pushed Rogers off balance to take that mark. Kept him out of the contest. He's already kicked 5, Jason Dunstall. 5 goals, 1. He's been very accurate. Coming in for goal number 101 for the season.
What a player this man has been. The 101 straight through the middle.
Once again, the Hawks steadying. Margin out to 23 points. Correction, 19. 19 points, the margin. From the middle, Morris tries to get it away. Yeah, that was almost thrown out.
Another one, Sandy.
Go. Dunstall. Over the top came Rogers, and the ball sits in the forward pocket.
A couple of throws there, Sandy. The second one wasn't too... it was very dubious, in fact, from Pritchard.
But deep in the Hawks' attacking zone. Handley, Paul Deere and James Morrissey plucks it out of the air. The free gives it across to Hudson, who boots another one behind. With a wry smile from Paul Hudson. That's the Hawks' 8th behind, 11-8.
It's a strange choice of kicks. He tried to do the banana kick at goal. He did have enough time to straighten and kick straight at it with a drop punt.
Rogers to the outer side, wants Handley. Paul Deere couldn't take it, neither could Nixon. Bairstow has an area. Good hustling by Pritchard, who was best on ground in the first half. Played superbly. Neal in trouble. Almost too slow, and he may pay the penalty. Nixon, a high kick in towards the pocket area, wobbles through for a behind. Now down behind play, that's Kenny Hinkley. Well, let's have a look what happened to Hinkley here. This would be a tragic blow, not only for Geelong, but
well, it's one of those where the player should be protected, with his head over the ball trying to pick it up, and he was dealt with pretty severely there by the Hawthorn player, and that's circumstances where the umpire must protect the ball player.
Neal in front, but couldn't take the mark. Free kick going the way of Lawrence. Or Jarman and Neal having a little bit of a how do you do. But Lawrence will take it just forward of centre wing.
The ruckman of the 90s, Stephen Lawrence, drives Hawthorn into attack. Deere at the back. Doesn't take the mark, however. And Ken Hinkley...
He's recovered.
He has recovered well. Lazarus. Mansfield. Handley picks it up. Oh, I like this player. So mobile. Merriman onto Mensch. The big boy from Grovedale. Poor kick, however. Brownless. Off the ground went McGuinness. Had another swipe at it. And another swipe. Ben Allen. It's a game of soccer here at Kardinia Park at the present time.
Oh, he was being held, Jared.
Of course he was held. Condon, however, picks it up for Hawthorn. Hudson at the back, and Dunstall there also. Well left, Hudson didn't back in to the space of Dunstall. And Dunstall could kick it from here, Bernie.
Yes, he's probably favoured by the breeze. This is a side to be coming in from. He must aim at that left goalpost. The breeze going directly across the ground.
Jason Dunstall, a shocker. Pulled it left, out on the full. Probably the worst shot at goal I've ever seen the champion from Hawthorn produce.
It's very un-Dunstall-like, that kick.
And critical time of proceedings here at Geelong, as Malakalis brings them back into attack. Handley was pushed out and will take the free kick. Merriman is allowed to take the advantage. A high kick, going to be close to the boundary line and punched over by Brown, who was competing with McGuinness. Conditions pretty well ideal now. A little bit slippery after the rain, however. But other than that, perfect for a good game of football. Mensch, well, he double-handed that. That could have been construed as a throw. Morrissey, a high kick into their forward line. Over the back was Hall. Couldn't take it. Lawrence off the ground. Dunstall too slow with a handball, and through comes Spiro with good play.
Malakalis' kick towards the half-forward line. Hocking is there. Mansfield, McCrabb. Steve Hocking now comes in to help. It's with Steve Hocking inside 50. Pulls it round his body. It's a high kick. Ablett pushing and shoving. But the Hawk defence equal to the task. McGuinness's kick to the half-back line, taken by Greg Deere. Allen almost down to centre wing. Hawthorn's got the loose man here. Gowers steadies. Suddenly Hawthorn are inside 50. Neil could have marked that.
Well, that just shows
the boundary line.
It just shows, Sandy, a lack of confidence in this Geelong side at the moment. Under normal circumstances, Neil would have taken that mark, but when they're under constant pressure, such as they have been today, you do things a little bit differently.
On Hawthorn's left half forward flank, Morrissey up but with an airy. Hinkley. There's the ball held. You just wonder, Bernie, what it would do to Geelong's confidence. They were beat today. They must leave the ground wondering how and when they could beat Hawthorn.
Yes, exactly. It was very important to the Cats today psychologically to win this one against the Hawks, because their record has been very ordinary over the last 10 years or so. And coming up to the finals, they must still be wondering, because Hawthorn's form has been very ordinary up until today.
Neil did the ruck work on that occasion. Tony Hall flings it out the back door. He's found Morrissey, who from 50 metres lets go with a big kick towards goal. Dunstall gets back on it, but it beats both he and Rogers over the line for behind.
Still, they have three very good players out of the team, Sandy. Geelong. Burke is very important at that centre bounce. Andrew Buse, a very important on-ball player. And, of course, Stoneham, centre-half back, centre-half forward.
Hawthorn have got a couple of decent ones out too.
Well,
let's not forget Platten. There's a bloke called Brereton. There's a bloke called Whitman. There's a bloke called Mew.
A bloke called Ayres.
So the list goes on.
Yes, well, that evens the ledger a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. To half forward for the Hawks. McGrath defends with a spoil. It ricochets off the boot of Lawrence, down towards full forward, but look at Hinkley. He's like a glider, just drifting. Deere comes over the top of Couch and hammers it over the line.
Nixon off for the Hawks, and Dean Anderson on. First run for the afternoon for Dean Anderson.
Handley takes the front spot, but taps it to Morrissey. Good smother by Neil, but Neil's kick will find Deere, who's on his own. Geelong should have someone pushing up to make a contest out of that. At the back will be McGrath with a punch. And well done, McGrath. Bairstow attacked the man, got away with it too. Unloads with a torpedo that goes astray. Gowers with a fist from behind. And Pritchard sees it over the boundary line.
It looks as though, Gerard, that Billy Brownless is now playing at centre-half forward. Minch going down into that forward pocket position.
Well, it was a wrestle for the throw-in. Good to see the umpire not plucking out a free kick, because most of the time it's a little bit of 50-50.
Another Geelong player very quiet this afternoon has been Robert Scott. Have a look at his stats. Only 4 possessions at the 17-minute mark of this third quarter.
Been an important player for Geelong this year. Deere, terrific tap. That was a throw from Condon. Morrissey, got Gowers, back to Morrissey. Hawthorn mounting something now. Morrissey runs his full distance. Poor kick, but a fortuitous one for Hawthorn, because Tony Hall, the champion from Glenelg, has taken a mark 35 metres out from goal. He's already kicked 1 and will be attempting his second. I think his 22nd for the year. It looks good off the boot. It's a goal.
The early charge this quarter. Hawthorn showing they're a champion team. Steady. Jarman. Good free kick. At half back. Darren Jarman, 10 kicks, 3 hand passes. A very, very skillful player. Malachillis at the back. Plays on to Hinkley. Left or right foot, it doesn't matter to him. Collins, crunched by Brownless, but he does get a short kick. Allen chanced his arm and got a favourable bounce. To the half-forward line, Hudson the target. With him, Malachillis. Hudson first to recover. Oh, danger here. He's got a player running in Anderson. Couldn't pick it up. Forsman comes round his body towards Couch on the outer side, but it beats the Brownlow medalist over the line.
Well, the hand pass only had to be good there from Hudson.
Yep. Just a little low, wasn't it?
Yes, the Hawks would have been away and running with a great chance of kicking another goal.
Lawrence in front. Handley. Now Couch again. Over the centre.
They need something happening around centre-half forward, Sandy. They've really fallen down in this part of their game.
Brownless. Oh, Gary.
Now, that is frustration, Sandy.
Yes, he was edged out.
I wouldn't be surprised if... No, well, 50 metres for sure, but we'll be a little bit careful, Gary Ablett.
That's where he got frustrated. He was edged out.
Oh. Well, it didn't look good, but he's been given the benefit of the doubt. Ray Jenke has done a magnificent job on Ablett, and Ablett, I just feel, is not leading enough at this stage, Jared.
Well, there was talk of an Achilles tendon problem last week, so perhaps that has something to do with it.
Well, once you go across that boundary line, of course, there's no excuses. You declare yourself fit, you're out there, you have to perform.
Pritchard gets through some heavy traffic. Oh, beautifully done. What a day he's had, Pritchard.
Yes, he's been a magnificent stand-in for Johnny Platten, hasn't he?
17 kicks, 8 hand passes, and his vision here was wonderful.
Well, a lot of people said, how do you replace a player of Platten's class? Well, we found out today that Pritchard can do the job very nicely. In fact, he hasn't had a great season on the wing. And since he's played on the ball today, he has stood in admirably.
Dunstall for number 7. No, he's guided that right, and it was a guide, wasn't it, Bernie? And it never looked like going anywhere else.
Yes, he kicked very well early in the match, Jason Dunstall, but just didn't kick through the ball at all on that occasion. See the zone defence being employed here by the Hawks, Jared, and they've used it very well.
Yes, they've been good in the Geelong kickouts. Jarman with the one hand almost took the miraculous mark. Merriman gets it to Couch. Now, Couch is up the middle looking for Bairstow, but through comes Gowers. That's where Hawthorn are doing well. They're running off their lines, running in straight lines, and are repelling most of the attacks that Geelong mount. Mansfield needs to lift it a little. Brown in the front. Brown couldn't hold what was a sitter in the end. The ball on the ground, and the umpire will ball it up.
Yes, he did well, Paul Brown, there to work his way to the front. And really, on normal circumstances, you would expect him to take that mark.
The two number 14s. They go at it. Couch, clever, to Bairstow. Bairstow goes on, gives it to Scott. Scott at goal, he's pulled it to touch. And when they're firing, those goals go through. On this occasion, things not going so well for Geelong. Only a behind. Hawthorn lead, 12 goals 11 to Geelong, 8-7.
And that's Robert Scott's first score.
Yes, he's had only 4 or 5 kicks for the day. Jenke brings it into the outer side, claiming the mark is Condon. Goes on with it. Anderson can have a run on the outer side. Dean Anderson, fresh legs towards Hudson. With him, Malachellis. Look at the skills of Hinkley. Give him a rap and he puts it out on the full. I was talking about the pickup, Bertie.
Yes, well, he was under a little bit of pressure there on the left side of his body. And Kenny has he's done a pretty good job for the Geelong side across half-back. I'd say probably Geelong's best player up until this stage.
Well, he's had 14 kicks. He's probably the best player on the ground, Darren Pritchard. Hurried shot at goal. Produces it behind for Dean Anderson and Hawthorn. 12-12, plays 8-7, and under 7.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter.
Andrew Rogers. The drop punt straight down the middle of the ground. Travels all of 55 metres. The back was Deere appealing for it. Brownless.
I think he took that mark, Jared, too. Deere saying a few quiet words to the umpire.
Well, Billy's just let go with one behind play. Retaliator always gets caught. And Austin McCrabb will get the kick for Hawthorn. At the back is Dunstall. Rogers knocks it clear of him. Dunstall playing with the ball. Rogers, well done. To Couch, who's lifted his rating in this quarter. Forsman. To Gary Hocking. The left foot goes long, looking for Brown, but chipping in was Deere, who does well.
Well, there's a couple of Geelong players really need to lift their discipline. Billy Brownless really giving that free kick away. Giving away 50 metres in at that stage of the game is not very good. And also Gary Ablett, when he gave that 50-metre penalty against Ray Jenke through frustration.
Another throw in. Handley takes the front spot, takes it out of the air. Left hand handball goes nowhere. Forsman was scragged, no free kick. In comes Hocking. Along the ground, submarine handball. Austin McCrabb. Merriman, under pressure, gets it to Bairstow. Bairstow can do something with this. No pressure. Looking for Ablett. The number 5, Puss in Boots. Shrugs the tackle. Taken down. He's been under pressure all day and appears to be anxious and a little frustrated. Off the ground. Robert Scott out in front. But away goes Pritchard. What a game he's been playing. Anderson. There's Hawthorn runners everywhere. Condon. He's got Dunstall or Hudson. He goes short. Poor kick. And away go Geelong.
Only as far as Ben Allen. Sizes up his options. He's got players everywhere. Lawrence from a standing start. That also is a poor kick. Goes into the pocket. And look at that. It's his day. Jason Dunstall.
Well, almost inevitable in that situation that Dunstall would come out on top. He just uses his body so well. Holding Rogers out of the contest and then lunging to take that chest mark.
And again missing. So some uncustomary kicking for goal from Jason today. No doubt a bit of pressure off, having the 100 under his belt. Rogers. Geelong unable to make any real impression on this very disciplined Hawthorn outfit. Look at Condon. Tony Hall couldn't take it at the first attempt. Good pressure from McGrath. The Hawthorn defence has been tight as a drum. Their tackling has been fierce. And they've run in numbers. They lead by 30 points. Lawrence to Condon. Over the line on the outer side.
Ablett now having a run on the ball or in the back line. One or the other, maybe full back. Well, that's interesting. Playing at full back. Rogers coming off the ground. Well,
and Ablett on Dunstall.
A strange move. Rogers off and Wills back on. I don't think Gary Ablett would have played at full back too many times in his career.
And they've got one less player down there because Dunstall's gone from one end of the ground to the other. They want to mark. Mensch couldn't quite take it. They desperately want to score, but look at Hawthorn.
Yes, desperation, the key word there, Sandy.
Fantastic.
They've been prepared to get the numbers back in defence and run the ball out from that half-back line. And when they do that, they do it very well. They've had plenty of space in the forward line. Dunstall's been leading well. Hudson's also played fairly well.
Just over 3 minutes remaining. Brown, was he pushed? The umpire said no. Jarman sees it over the line.
Well, he should be in the play at least, Gary Ablett. Playing at full-back on Dunstall.
Well, Geelong kicked 2 very early goals in this quarter, and there was a feeling perhaps they were going to throw out a challenge, but since then they haven't scored another goal. Bairstow. Tackling is superb.
Gang tackling, Sandy.
Yep, that's dead right.
3s and 4s.
Jarman and Allen combine. Out towards Hall. Chasing will be McGrath. Well, that's a brave decision in front of the Geelong members. Jarman. A high kick. Where's Dunstall? Ablett. Better use of the body on that occasion. Could be a very good duel, that one. We've only got a quarter and a bit to go. Gary Hocking. Can Geelong do something as Hocking wanders towards the half-forward line?
Collins will take the front spot. He punches it away. Mansfield and Collins in a race. Mansfield taking a little high. Collins appealing and gets the free kick. What do you think, Bernie?
I thought that was a very tough decision, in fact. He was taken to the ground. The ball was forced under him, but he did not dive on it. Usually if a player dives on the ball, well, the umpire's entitled immediately to give the free kick. But on that occasion, I thought maybe a little bit stiff, Mansfield.
Up to the wing with Condon taking an easy kick. Quick handball finds Morrissey. A very quick handball. And Hudson at the back. Went with one hand. Been a good battle between he and Malakalis. Hudson probably just on top of his 3 goals. Players fight for possession. And Hinkley Not too happy with the treatment handed out whilst he was on the ground. So it's just a minute over of play left. Another goal to Hawthorn. Just about see it clear. At the back is Condon. He's got support with Ben Allen, who comes onto his right foot. And there he is again. He's had 3 opponents. He's got another one at the moment who is recognised as Superman.
Yes, here's a kick again from Allen. Not really looking for Dunstall, just tumbling it off the boot. But Dunstall doing the right thing, getting his body in front, and we'll see his stats there. 10 marks for the afternoon. Of course, only one player in front of him in that, and that's Stewie Lowe, the St Kilda champion.
Well, he snuck it home for his 7th goal. Hawthorn go further ahead. 13-13, 91. A commanding lead over Geelong now, 8-7, 55.
Yeah, 7-3 to the Hawk champion. Just force the ball forward. Doesn't matter how, they just get it forward somehow. Working his way very well to the front there, Jason Dunstall, taking that very strong chest mark. And against Gary Ablett, of course, a player who's very capable of kicking goals himself. Although very quiet today, Gary Ablett has only kicked 2 behinds.
There's only 10 seconds of play left in this quarter. One wouldn't think there'd be a score. It'd have to go straight out of the centre. Hawthorn now the only chance. Allen, they need a mark from Dunstall. Dunstall and Ablett, but the siren beats them both. Dunstall had the chance. The 2 grabbed at it. Good pressure from Ablett. Saw it on the ground. So another fine quarter from Hawthorn. They lead 13-13, 91. Geelong now with the job ahead of them, 8-7, 55.
Kardinia Park, Hawthorn 13-13, 91, leading Geelong 8-7, 55. Okay, here we go. Final quarter at Kardinia Park. The Cats are the league leaders at the moment, but they're up against the reigning champions. And Hawthorn are showing them how they got there last year. Handley gets a kick for Geelong, down to put them inside 50. Free kick going the way of Geelong. It's going to Scott, who has been very, very quiet today.
Only his 5th kick coming up, Sandy. He's had 4 kicks and 2 hand passes. Had a chance to kick a goal in the 3rd quarter, but missed rather badly.
Well, if ever they wanted a start, it is now. Robert Scott from 40 metres. Gives them the start they wanted. Scott gets his first and his 34th goal for the season. 9-7 plays 13-13.
Oh, maybe just a hint for Geelong that they are still half a chance to get back into this game. They really need to get a few goals on the board early in this last quarter. They've done just that. Well, 1 goal at least with Robert Scott, who's been well held by Andy Collins, but never write them off.
Geelong lead by 5 straight goals. Ball in dispute in the middle. Bairstow could have handballed, but gets the quick kick out. And McGrath, who's up in attack. The redhead drives the ball long. Geelong need a couple in a row. Punch from Langford from behind. Ball in dispute once again. The players are desperate for possession. Gary Hocking sees the ball over the boundary line.
Yes, McGrath now playing on the forward line. Started at full back on Jason Dunstall. He was moved after Dunstall had kicked 5 and then went to play on Tony Hall, and now playing at half forward.
Well, they need a couple of more quick ones, Geelong. They got the first through Scott. Merriman. Good play there, drives Hawthorn clear, but Geelong have the numbers at the ball. Couldn't take possession, however, and Pritchard gets it with a quick handball to Allen. To Anderson. They've got the runners now, Hawthorn. At the back of the pack was Hinkley, who has interfered with Paul Deere and given away a fairly undisciplined free kick. Drives the ball looking for Dunstall. Should take it. No, it slips through his hands. At the back of the pack is Jarman, who hits the post. Well, we come to expect goals from Darren Jarman under those circumstances.
He's a very skillful player, isn't he, Jared? Probably the most skillful player playing AFL football.
Well, Sandy, Hawthorn led at quarter time by 16 points, at half time by 26, at three-quarter time by 36. So I'll give you a task and tell me how much they'll win by.
Ablett brings it back into play. If that ratio keeps going, probably 50-something. Lawrence over the top. Hocking. To centre wing and Hinkley. Ken Hinkley to half forward. Scott will do the scouting. Oh, not necessary. Fine grab by Brown. Played a lot of his football up in the forward line.
And taking a long time
to take his kick. Peter Sumich punt. Goes through from behind.
What's that, from left to right, is it? Or right to left? Explain that one, Sandy.
The helicopter kick.
Oh, the helicopter.
They want goals and not behinds as Langford brings it out and brings it out beautifully. McGuinness over the centre. Lawrence gave a decent old nudge. Free kicks, there's nothing in it, although one gets the impression that the Geelong fans won't go home incredibly happy. Hocking. In fact, it's 21-20 in Hawthorn's favour. Steve Hocking. Couch to half forward. Scott. A fraction further out.
Yes,
maybe he kicked the last goal.
Maybe just too far. In fact, he's passing now.
Merriman.
Good play by Scott, realising that that he would have been really tested from just outside that 50-metre area. Looking for some option, and there's a movement. Better movement on the Geelong forward line. It's been a little bit stationary today, very static.
Merriman from 40 metres. That's a lovely kick too. It's another one to the Cats.
Well, we would expect Geelong to mount some sort of challenge. They're top of the ladder. Better here go Hawthorn. Malakalis could have been penalised for being over the ball, hovered over it. And through come the Cats with Horsman. Brown at the back. The bounce favoured him. He ducks and weaves and goes to the centre of the ground. Scott again.
Oh, that's good movement on the forward line by Scott. He's lifted in this final quarter. And well held up to three-quarter time. In fact, he'd only had 6 possessions. But now at least he's moving and leading, and that's what the forwards must do. On too many occasions, the forwards have gone back trying to outbody their opponent.
Scott for his second for the quarter. From 40 metres, he's pulled it. And misses by a whisker.
1 goal, 2 to Robert Scott.
So Geelong are mounting some sort of challenge. Now it's up to Hawthorn to answer it.
Couch.
Too easy there, Sandy. Gow's in front. The little man taking the mark over the top. Gow's in the favoured position.
Kick from Couch he wants. Billy! Brownless flew high but couldn't take it. Scott into the ground. Pritchard probably best on ground. Gets it out to Anderson. The Hawks out of danger. The centre wing. It's with Lawrence. To half forward. Deer first to recover. Couch again. Over the centre he goes. Mensch the flyer. Couldn't take it. Condon waits down. Casually to Jarman. Chips wide for Tony Hall. And he sees it over the line.
Yeah, another great kick there from Jarman. Dean Anderson imploring at centre half forward. Why didn't you kick it to me? He was clear too.
23 points the margin. Forsman can't get it out.
Yes, well, he did have the opportunity there on the first instance to get that hand pass away. He didn't. He was well tackled, so holding the ball.
Poor kick. Good interception, though, by Gary Hocking. Into the centre, Mensch. Couldn't take it. Brown beautifully onto Merriman. Now, he can run in and have a shot here. 55 out. He goes long and low. Yes! Billy Brownless couldn't take it. Scott chips off the ground. This game's coming to life. Scott is caught. The ball spills free over the line and we'll have a throw.
Yes, and well tackled there by Andy Collins. I thought maybe Merriman could have had another bounce there. He was being well shepherded by Tim McGrath, and could have gone into probably...
Yep, I thought he might.
Around about the 40-metre mark.
And they take advantage of it while it's in their zone. That's why he's called the freak. Condon off to Anderson. Back towards Lawrence again. Away from Neil. Clever play, Lawrence. Beautifully played to Tony Hall, and that's vision too. Allen. Dunstall. Too good. Too good.
It's magnificent play, wasn't it, by the Hawks? In the way they brought that ball in. Steve Lawrence, under some sort of pressure, was able to knock that ball on. Good vision by Tony Hall, getting the ball into the centre to the run of Ben Allen.
This for number 8. He's got it.
In a centre square infringement, just what Geelong didn't need. Stephen Lawrence will pound Hawthorn back into attack. The back of the pack was Hudson, but he didn't go with it. And the mark was taken by Mansfield. Bairstow. Courage personified. One hand went out, the ball stuck. Across the field, he's got Buddha Hocking on his own. 30 metres clear. Pritchard on the defensive side now. Put some pressure on him. Merriman. He should knock this ball on. He does well to get it to Mensch. Mensch does well also. Centres the ball, but there's no one there for Geelong. Through comes Wills now. Takes his eye off it. Morrissey scoops that ball out, as does Jenke. And Jenke gets it to Austin McCrabb. McCrabb, left foot kick to centre wing. Neither player could mark the ball, and the throw-in will bring the ball back into play. So there's still time left for Geelong. Certainly not out of it. However, they would have to really get a wriggle on. And a wiggle. Oh, a heavy knock to Darren Jarman.
Yep, free kick.
Certainly was. Player's head must be protected.
I know it was a hip and shoulder, but Jarman did have his head down. And Hocking indicating, well, I hit him with the shoulder, but the player is down with his head over the ball. It's not open season on him. There he is, just coming up halfway. And, well, that is a definite free kick in my opinion. Definite free kick. And Jarman a little bit groggy after that heavy knock.
No remonstrating from Jarman's teammates. He kicks wide, maybe too wide. Bounces over the line just in front of Condon. Darren Jarman, 15 kicks, 4 hand passes. Deer. Going with him was Hinckley. Again over the line. Hawk fans on the outer side quite happy. 10-9, plays 14-14. Hawthorn holding sway. Merriman. Forsman. No one able to get it out.
Good signs there again, Sandy, for the Hawks. 4 players around the fall of the ball.
They just lock it up, don't they?
That's the way it's been all day. There hasn't been too much free-flowing play from this Geelong side.
Allen gets it out. Ball sweeping to Anderson. They're away again. Pritchard off to Lawrence. Where's Jason? Couldn't take the mark, Dunstall. Mansfield tidies up, goes back towards the centre. Handley. Oh, does well, the big man, but he needs help. McGuinness couldn't take it cleanly. Morrissey wide to Condon. To the half-forward line go the Hawks, and they're there in numbers. Allen and Pritchard. Pritchard may do it on his own. He deserves something special the day he's had today. He's found his mark. And the Hawks steadying with Tony Hall now looking for goal number 3.
Yes, well, a typical Tony Hall mark, backing into the pack, eyes only for the ball.
And he gets it.
Tonight on...
It has been a welcome return to form from many of the Hawthorn players here today. I speak of Hudson and Hall. Paul Deers made a valiant return after suspension for 4 weeks for tripping. Dunstall, of course, has careered away, continuing his fine form for the season. It's Merriman out of the centre for Geelong. Rogers and McGrath. Off the ground went Morrissey, but he didn't get a great connection, and it's back with Geelong now through Hocking. Poor handball. Langford's been better today. He's had a fairly average year, but has struck form at the right time. Merriman again, who's been busy, but that was a poor kick. Condon intercepted by McGrath, who's in the silks. Billy around the corner. Is this a goal? It's a fine shot and home. 4 goals to Billy Brownless, and Geelong won't go down. 11-9, they still trail Hawthorn 15-14.
Yes, there's Billy, 4 goals for the afternoon. And he's kicked now 33 for the season. And they still really need to get a wriggle on if they're going to have any chance. Still a long way behind the Cats.
Back in the middle once more. Lawrence wins it out of the centre. Forsman tries to take it away, but he can't. Hawthorn players are battling each other almost for the ball. Morrissey, Pritchard.
Yes, Lawrence has made a big difference, hasn't he, Sandy, to this Hawthorn side? Around the centre bounces.
Well, Malcolm Blight did say he was concerned about the height of the Hawthorn outfit. Perhaps now with some justification. Ablett chances his arm. Anderson snaps at goal. Misses to the left. 15-15. There's 11-9. 12.5 minutes remaining. And fullback Gary Ablett. Towards Handley. Scott does the roving. He's come to life all too late. Merriman to the half-forward line. Again, Hawthorn have the numbers to block it up. Socket wide. Here's an opportunity now. Bairstow gives it to Scott. His kick is wide and out of bounds on the full.
Well, it looks as though Robert Scott may be having a run on the ball now, with Gary Hocking having a spell in that forward pocket on Andy Collins.
McGuinness to half-back. Brown, a fine mark.
He's a good-looking player, Paul Brown. Started off on the interchange bench. Has had some impact on this game. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. Maybe a little bit too far out here, Sandy. It will test him, this kick, from about 55.
So far he's kicked 32 goals for the season, but he's played a lot of his football in defence. That's a lovely looking kick, and I think it's made it.
The Geelong have whittled this lead down by 2 goals since three-quarter time. Trailing by 4 goals now. They're not out of it, but they must get the ball out of the centre.
Two quick ones would be handy. Maybe make it 5 quick ones. Would be even handier.
Well, I'm sure the Cat supporters would find some voice then. As Brownless goes up, having a run in the centre. Forsman to Couch. All the left footers combined. Collins taken high and over the shoulder by footer Hocking. Geez, he's tight in those one-on-one situations, Collins.
Well, he did well to get his body in front there.
McGuinness, been a fine player for Hawthorn today, drives them long into attack. Paul Deere, who I think is becoming almost the linchpin of this side. Handball off Hall. This will result in a goal. Hall goes to Dunstall. How easy is that when Hawthorn fire? And all Dunstall has to do now is do what he does best, and that is convert.
Well, the Hawks have controlled play around the middle of the ground. And if you can do that, it makes it so much easier for your forwards. Of course, Ablett started off on the forward line. He was starved of opportunity. He now finds himself standing the mark.
9 goals from 12 kicks, 13 kicks to Jason Dunstall. What a fine afternoon he has had. Yes. Hawthorn go further ahead now. 16-15 to 12-9.
Yes, well, that's just about it for the Cats. There's Jason Dunstall on the lead. Plenty of space in that forward line. And have really controlled things around the middle of the ground. Their tackling has been superb. The Hawks, 41 tackles to 25. And that tells a story. numbers around the ball.
16-15 plays 12-9, and so far this season Jason Dunstall's booted 21 goals against Geelong. An extraordinary performance in not quite 2 outings. Condon gets a favourable bounce. He may get another one here.
What a superb mark that one from Dunstall. Out in front of Ablett. And there's another perfect example of how Jason Dunstall plays the game. He leapt early, has very strong hands. There he is, jumping early, getting his body in between Ablett and the ball. And great pass there coming from Condon.
Let's see what he does. This for number 10. And he's let us down. Right across the face. How many behinds, Bernie? 4.
He's kicked, yes, and 1 out of bounds on the full.
9-4. Gary Ablett must think to himself, what can I do? What can I do to stop him? Well, he tried to get onto a torp and he almost got onto it. Brownless could have got a nudge. Hinkley from half-back runs in towards the centre. Brown shows courage again. He's done well. Good mark, taken a couple of fine grabs. Merriman on his own. Can run on. Just chips over the top and finds Tim Darcy.
That's Tim Darcy's first stat. He started the game in the full forward position alongside Billy Brownless, playing as a second full forward, but spent some time on the interchange bench. And you couldn't be happy with those stats.
So this for his first and the Cats' 13th. Hawthorn making another change. 2 young Merton's going to come on for a run, Bernie, and Hudson having a spell.
Yes, well, Hudson, not a bad afternoon on the forward line.
Philip Merton, just a youngster from Surrey Hills, come up through the under-19s. As Condon, he goes to the half-back line. McGrath.
Free kick against McGrath, using the elbow to fend off. Good decision, well spotted by the umpire.
A learning process today for many. Pritchard towards centre wing. 23 kicks for Pritchard. Great performance. Anderson spent time on the bench.
There again, tied up superbly by the Hawks. Numbers at the ball, 3 and 4. Couch couldn't get that hand pass away.
Brownless and Deer to Couch. 19 kicks to Paul Couch. He's had a fairly good afternoon. So is that man on screen, Andy Collins. When you look at the record of Alan Joyce, it's quite imposing. He played 63 games under Joyce for 48 wins and 15 losses. Premierships in 88 and 91. Perhaps the Giant has awoken again. Could we see a repeat performance of 1991, where everybody at this time of year wrote off Hawthorn, except for Peter McKenna, and they went on to win the premiership. Deere has been a good performer. Forsman couldn't control it. The ball trickled over the boundary line, and Hawthorn really are just wasting time now. They know they've got this game won. It's only a matter of seeing out the time on the clock. 30 points in front. Pritchard, best on ground this afternoon. He's had plenty of mates. McGuinness, Deere's been good. Lawrence has been excellent. Don't forget that man with 9 goals on the board, Jason Dunstall.
Jenke, a good job also. His stats aren't great, but he put a dangerous player out of business.
Hawthorn have got Carlton, North, Melbourne and St Kilda in the next 3 weeks. So 2 games will be against fellow sides in the final 6. Perhaps their rise will be even more significant after those games. Round the corner to Merton for his first touch in his 3rd game of league football. It's always good for a young player to get out onto the ground, particularly when you go down the Geelong Road to Kardinia Park. Free kick to Ken Hinkley. Perhaps Geelong's best player, Bernie.
Yes, I'd say so. He's been superb in defence.
Couch from behind flies, but didn't judge it too well, and the ball trickles over the boundary line.
He had two options on this members' side wing. Hocking and Merriman made position. He ignored those and proceeded to kick to the pack.
Billy to the skipper. Hasn't been Bairstow's best day. And a consistent performer, however. And that's a fine mark by Tony Hall, who's been an important player for Hawthorn this afternoon. To Ben Allen, who moves the ball quickly, looking for Dunstall. A nudge out. Must be a free kick to Gary.
Yes, fairly obvious, Jared. Before the ball got there, a hefty shove in the back against Gary Ablett. Here we see it again. Ablett making sure he saw it also.
Ablett goes short to Forsman at half-back. He heads towards centre wing. Wanted Wills. It was out-pointed. Now Jarman. From just outside 50, he has a pop shot but misses.
The Cats really have fallen down across that half-forward line today. As we see, we've got now Tim McGrath playing at centre-half forward. Mensch did start there. Of course, Stoneham out of this Geelong side with that groin strain. He's a very important player in this Geelong side. They really need him firing at centre-half forward.
Ablett wide again. Well, it's Hocking and Pritchard. Hocking the victor on this occasion. Goes into the centre, finding Merriman. What movements he got over the centre. Brown will be the target, and it's a good mark again. Taken 2 or 3 very good marks. Into half forward, and this time the leading Mensch is successful. Directly in front, with any sting that was in this game has gone. David Mensch kicked a goal in the first quarter. Gets behind a drop punt. It's a long kick. It's a goal.
How does it happen?
3 minutes left in this game, which will see Hawthorn extend their imposing record against Geelong to 13 wins out of 14 games. It's the recent history of the two sides. Brownless pumps that forward, but Darcy can't control it. Once again, we'll see it ball over in that half-forward flank for Geelong for about the 12th time this quarter. Perhaps the players like the sunny side of the ground, because that's where it's been all afternoon. Merriman throws that one, knocked on by Bairstow. Hocking, good play to Couch. Couch runs in for goal and converts. Paul Couch gets his first goal for the afternoon. Geelong get their 14th, but they trail 14-10 to Hawthorn 16-17.
Well, a much better quarter by the Cats. 6-goal term, in fact. And the Hawks have only kicked 3 goals for the quarter, but all too late. Because the damage was done. 6 goals down at 3-quarter time against a class combination in the Hawks. It makes it very difficult.
94 plays 113. Hocking can't take it out of the centre. Was he held? Umpire says no. Pritchard gets yet another possession. Hinkley almost trapped it superbly. Anderson finds Merton. On to Morrissey. He should goal from 50 metres. A high drop punt, and he hits the post.
That's twice they've ignored Dunstall's lead in the last couple of minutes. One was Jarman and then Morrissey.
And that's 2 posters to Morrissey for the afternoon.
Ablett short again. He can have Hinkley or Malachellis. Now Mansfield. In towards the centre. It'll drop short. Condon is underneath it for the Hawks. Tony Hall the target. Hinkley steals it. Drops one high, and he'll take it at half-back.
Geelong's best player this afternoon, I'd say, by far, Ken Hinkley.
There's 19 kicks and 2 hand passes. Tried his heart out. Forsman. Brown could be his target because Brown has been very solid in his aerial work. Couldn't mark that one. Couch. Look at the Hawthorn players still fighting each other for the ball with only a minute remaining.
Billy takes the front spot. Really an ineffective palm, though.
Great tackling again by the Hawks. Look at that. Both Greg Deere and Condon doing the tackling on Hocking, making sure he was going nowhere.
Geelong certainly have been a little bit flat, perhaps a result of their magnificent victory here last week against Footscray. It is one of the more difficult aspects of football, coming off a big victory, particularly when you're facing such a foe as Hawthorn the following week. Mind games, it's what controls this game, I think, Bernie.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. It's always very easy to relax just that little bit mentally after a good win, Jared.
If you take the foot off the pedal against this combination in the brown and yellow, we have got absolutely no hope, even if you are as talented as the Geelong side.
They've shown a bit of character this afternoon, the Hawks, as the siren goes to finish the match.
And Paul Brown will try to add to Geelong's score. Percentage may be important at the end of the year. It's a long kick. I think he might have got it home. Only behind. So the final score will read Hawthorn. Big victors here at Kardinia Park in a surprise upset. 16-18, 114. Convincing victors over the home side Geelong. 14-11, 95. And Jason Dunstall not only kicks his 100th, but is the star of the afternoon with 9 big goals.
It's a fantastic performance by Dunstall, who had 3 or 4 opponents throughout the day. He beat them all, finished the day with 9-4, and the Hawks are back on the rails again after looking a little fragile, just sneaking home against the Bears. They're back in town. So repeating the scores here at Kardinia Park. Hawthorn successful, 16-18, 114. Geelong, 14-11, 95.